Hello YouTube. It's been a few weeks since I recorded, but this is a follow-up, a part two, basically to the video I made a few weeks ago about the hero I made, or the hero I came up with back in 2014. And if you want to watch this one, go back and watch that one, because you will not understand this one if you don't watch the other one. So let's get into it. So this video will be mainly centered around some of the things I didn't explain in the last video, and how Lance might not be in Spider-Man 3, or he might not be in Spider-Man 3, but he will he or he hang on. He'll be in Spider-Man 3, but he might also be in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So let's get into it, like I said a few seconds ago. But with Lance being in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they will not change the title for him, because he's like a side character that will only be in like a few episodes here and there. What will happen is that a few months ago I read an article about on the Google News Center about Peter apparently being on the run, or implying that he's on the run in Spider-Man 3. So he brought May with him too, because it says him and May are on the run. So like Lance will be on the run too, but he will not bring his family with him, because he doesn't want his family to be involved. Like he has a younger sister who's like 10 years old, and he doesn't want his sister to be involved in that, to see what's happening in his life, basically. And another thing is that I just now read an article about Sam and Bucky still not being close friends, or still not really being friends in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So when Sam, Lance, and Bucky are just like, they won't be arguing constantly, but they will get annoyed. Like, they probably will be arguing, but they like I'm not even I don't even know much about the Falcon and Winter Soldier yet, because it's not going to come out. It's not going to come out soon. It's not coming out until like August of this year. So we still have like a few more months, like some more months until it comes out. And with the thumbnail you're seeing right now, it's orange and teal, and like I said in the last video, that's Metal Spider's suit colors. Like, either way, it's the suit colors. Either way, the suit colors for Spider-Man were red and blue. But now I feel like I should have made it white, gold, and black, because that's his new colors now. Those are his new colors, because his suit is, as a Far From Home, white, gold, and black. And it's and in Homecoming, in the scene when Peter has to leave the dance and go after Vulture, I think, or Shocker, or whatever, like the guy who was screwing around with the buses when he got out the building. But like Lance shows up too, because he shows up to the dance late and sees Peter leave, and then they kind of like run down the hall side by side and get their suits on and everything. And it's kind of cool, because this is after Tony takes him and Peter's suit away, and they have to make their own. Lance pretty much goes back to his home spider suit, which was the tracksuit, and with orange and teal, basically, and like a spray painted on Spider-Man logo on it. Basically, if you look at Miles Morales' suit from Into the Spider-Verse, how it had like the circle and then the spider logo in it, that's kind of how it looked like, only without the circle, and the spider logo was like a bit larger. And yeah, let's say, back to the Falcon and the Soldier. Let's say Peter goes up north, like Canada or something like that. Lance would go down the southern portion of the United States, probably to the capital city, where I think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier takes place. And there he probably meet Sam first, and him and Sam would be like they haven't seen each other in like a really, really long time, because it has been like some months since they've seen each other. Let's say Endgame takes place in, when it come out, April. Yeah, so let's say it takes place in April of 2023. and then Far From Home takes place a month later, and then let's say like the third Spider-Man movie takes place like 3 or 4 months later. That means they haven't seen each other in like what 6 7 months. I don't know, but um with Metal Spider, thing is that they him and Peter like he Peter's I read somewhere that Peter's intellect or his IQ is like 198. Lance's is lower because he didn't know, like if you pay attention and Far From Home when they were making a suit, Lance had like some difficulty trying to make a suit and Peter had to help him, like if you like pay close enough attention. And then there's a deleted scene where when Happy turns on AC/DC and Peter says I love Led Zeppelin, um Lance corrects him and says, Peter, I don't know if you know this, but that is AC/DC. And Peter just kind of looks at him, and they just kind of, all three just kind of look at each other, and then they just go back to making the suits with the song just blasting in the background still. And then we turn around, it's, thing is that in Homecoming, Lance was kind of weak, kind of, like in the scene when, like, the building collapsed on top of Peter, nothing happened to him. Lance just straight up fell. And, oh, frick. But yeah, nothing happened to him. Lance just kind of fell. And he couldn't get up. And when Peter was like, come on, Spider-Man, come on. And then, like, he lifted up the thing. He had to grab Lance, like, in, like, half a second. And then throw him out first and then jump out himself. So that kind of just alludes to Lance as being like a normal guy who doesn't really have powers. And the fact that he was knocked out too, so he was pretty weak in Homecoming. Far From Home, he was pretty good. Endgame, he was so-so. Infinity War, he was pretty good. And speaking of Endgame, when Tony, Scott Lang, and Cap went and Hulk went back to 2012. Lance was with them, and also Lance, he didn't in Iron Man 2 when that kid who's later to confirm to be Peter Parker is in that part when the Hammer Jones show up. He didn't know Peter yet. They did not meet until Iron Man 3, which was a few years later, and it's kind of weird because Lance just kind of he doesn't have like a girlfriend or anything. And the reason why he fell in love with Natasha like that was because for the 5 years, like a good chunk of Lance's family got blipped on his father and mother's side. So that's why he wasn't with like an aunt or like a cousin or something like that. Because the thing is that with Peter looking up to Tony like a father, Lance was more of a to Lance, Tony was more of an uncle because he had an uncle named Uncle James who died during he died during Avengers 2012 because he saw what was happening and everything, and I think when like the fight was going on, like a car hit him or something and he died. And so that's why Lance kind of looks up to Tony as an uncle, because he's in some ways like his uncle James. And and I'm telling you, Lance really like loved his Uncle James because and by the way, remember in the last video when I told you how Lance reacted to Natasha dying and Hawkeye being there? Yeah. Well, there's this book you can pretty much look at where It's kind of like Lance's journal and what happened, like him documenting what happened in the 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame. And in the journal, it says like it's like an entry to where to after like right after he finds out Natasha's dead and Hawkeye didn't like let her die, basically just let her just kind of jump. And it was Lance kind of getting mad at Hulk, saying if he hadn't pulled me back, then I wouldn't have been able to kill him. And like Lance is just kind of his mental state got damaged from that, and he was just kind of upset about it. And yeah, to be honest, I don't even know what else to say about him. There might be a part 3 to this. I don't really know. But now that I'm considering making a part 3, I'm just considering making this into a whole goddamn series, but I don't really know about that either. So, if you want to watch this one, like I said earlier in the video, go watch the last one. Go watch part 1, because you will not understand this video if you don't watch part 1. And another thing is that like yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it. If you go ahead and share this video, and yeah, pretty much if you want to, just do what I told you to do last video, like share the video, tell your friends about it, whatever. Infinite Ultima 15 signing off, and